Hi there guys, what's going on? We are finishing up this Blazer tank swap in the S10 here, and this is also going to be like a quick update because I know that I had somebody today, after months and months of me not posting anything, they asked for an update, and I'm starting to get more motivated on this because we went through a really hot streak, and stuff like, you know, this tree branch fell off of this tree which is right next to the garage, and it came down, and if it would have fallen towards me, it would have gone probably right through. So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of yard work, whatnot. But anyway, Blazer tank is in. I went with the Holley red pump. You can see this extra line hanging down there. I did not notch the frame enough for a mechanical fuel pump, and that is my return line. So what I'm probably going to end up doing with that is probably toss a filter on it and tie it up somewhere, because how it works on this tank, how I have it set up, is there's just like a little 90-degree where it just pops in, and that would be my return line. So it's right at the very top of the tank, probably sticks down maybe ½ inch, and I figured that'd be a good breather too. I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, but nothing's wired up back here yet, and main reason for that is I'm kind of trying to figure out how I want to go about wiring things, what I want for the interior and all that stuff, so on and so forth. Fuel line, I got everything put back into the factory location, going right through the frame. And as far as everything goes, you can get everything right, local hardware store. That's what I did to build this tank. And then I work in manufacturing. I just used some spring banding, and that's how I made my straps. As far as the flap goes on the inside, I ended up getting another bed. And when I got this bed, I 100% just wrecked my truck because I smoked a deer doing about 65 miles an hour on the way home from getting it, and it wrecked it. It took me a while to get it all built back and put back together. Insurance doesn't know, but I needed that so I can get this section of floor so that way it matches up with the factory floor that's in the bed. I'm gonna make it into my flap. So that's pretty simple. Otherwise, I did hit up the Princeton swap meet, and that's where I found these pretty good looking S10 wheels. Pretty sure they came off an S10, like a 94, like an SS S10, or their ZQ8 wheels. I'm not entirely sure, but the bolt patterns matches up perfectly. And let's see what else. Oh, the Caltracs are on. That's always fun. And I used air shocks, and there's my air shock fill. So slowly but surely getting it. And then I've been slowly building my wiring wall. I still got a long way to go and a lot of colors to fill, but it's a nice little start. I got some ground straps for when I start doing my electrical wiring on this, and all the different shrink tubings. And I have a really nice, like a mesh style expandable loom. I don't know, it should look pretty good. Otherwise, I'm working on the brakes next. I got all my brake lines. I got the quarter. I got the, was it 3/16 brake line? I got everything. I got my coolant hoses. Front end is kind of set on there. Aftermarket fenders, I found a marketplace. It's got a good crease in it right there. I'm not too happy with it because it was a big piece of foam that I didn't see that one on. So I was looking at it, I'm like, all right, well, this fender's, you know, pretty good. There's one like very small divot right there. I'm like, that'll push out, whatnot. The other side, it's got a little bit bigger one right there, and it's just got a little whoopity-doo up the top, but I figured I'll use them as mock-ups. That way, if they get banged up, I don't really care, because I'm probably going to end up going back with the factory ones. I mean, they're not bad. They're just a little crusty on the inside, and, well, I'd like to find something that's clean, but that there core support, it needs some love. I mean, my headlight mount, that's a problem. And when I was taking it apart, one of these bolts, one of the mounts on the inside, I'm not sure if it's this side or the other side, it must be the other side. Yeah, it rounded right around it. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to get myself a welder. That's another thing I've been saving up for. I need a nice little 110 welder for out here in the garage, because then I could do the exhaust too. Got the new valve covers on, that looks good. Powder coated intake is on. I changed that out to a Performer EPS. That's on. Everything's kind of getting finished up. I got to get some plugs yet. But the coolant lines look like they're going to fit good. The Davis unified ignition, that's in. I made my own wires and everything seems to be coming together pretty good. And the big thing is the electrical. I left all these back when I first cut the harness just to kind of make it easy on myself. And that way when I run relays and stuff, I can see which ones are key on power. Because what I'm going to do here is, you guys, these OBS Chevys, I went to U-Pull and I pulled every single one of these they had there. Let's see, where's a good example? Right here. These guys. You put power to one. This is the one that the main power would go on those trucks. And it powers all these. So it goes right from the battery. And this powers up all your relays and everything. So that way you just got the key on power and it'll kick on relays and it'll pull the power right from this. I'm going to use that instead of the factory little stud one that would bolt on right here. If you know what I'm talking about, it would just have the single stud that a lot of people would run all their electrical to, and it kind of look a little tacky. I'm trying to get away from that tacky look. So this should just go. You can mount it up anywhere. I only got heat only in this. There is no AC, but that'll help it look a lot nicer in my opinion. Just because it's a factory piece from a truck, and it just, I don't know, it kind of fits the era. So I got probably half a dozen of these or more. So that's kind of how I do my electrical. But I want to try to figure out what I'm going to do for gauges. I kind of have an idea. I found a picture on Facebook. I really like it. And I'd like to kind of go with the switch panel on the inside just because I'm running the electric fuel pump and I can just run all kinds of different accessories on it. Because, spoiler alert, I got my Hyperglow kit in. And if you know what Hyperglow is, you know what I'm talking about. And I know I haven't been good at keeping my promises here on the YouTubes, but I'm gonna go step by step and try to do as best of install I can do on it. So, but before I do that, I want to have everything else figured out so that when I do my electrical, I can just do it once and not try to backtrack or try to redo stuff because I'm going a different way. It'd be nice to have just like a quick, you know, probably a 4-switch system. I can have it be, I don't know, electric fans, fuel pump, and underglow. You know, something like that. But I want it to be a really nice kit, something that you don't make, something you gotta buy, and probably try find the ones that have the fuses right above it, because that would come in nice and handy. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead here and get to how I went about doing the Blazer tank swap, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, I'm still trying to figure out this stupid enduro because I started getting burnt out on the S10. I need something to kind of, something easy, I thought, that would kind of get me motivated to go back to it, but this has been more of a headache than anything. So hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and we'll catch you later. All right. Here we are at the S10 again today. Starting working on it again here. A little different than what you saw last time. Last time the bed was on, this and that. I ended up swapping out the rear end. So now it's got the limited slip 342 disc brake. Along with that, the Caltrax are on. I didn't really show any of that because swapping out the rear end, all you do is just, you know, drop your U-bolts and swap it out. As far as Caltrax go, order them up and they come with very detailed step-by-step instructions, so that's all really nice. Really nothing to show there. You just kind of go by the specifications for your vehicle. I mean, this one is static dropped pretty low, so this and that. I did end up, I'm pretty sure you might be able to see it on the driver's side, but I ground off factory bump stops, and I already had a friend over, and we both of us stood on the back here, and we were kind of jumping on it, and without any shocks at all, it did not bottom out at all. So I don't think I'm going to end up going and putting in my notch kit at this time. Later on, if it has to happen, it has to happen, but I have it on hand ready to go. Today I got myself an 83-84 Blazer gas tank. I plan on putting about right here, and with doing that I need to make new mounts and get rid of the old spare tire mount. So I'm just gonna get started here. Figured I'd jump back in as long as I'm starting to do some stuff. So first off, I just got some angle iron. This used to be some like pallet racking stuff here. My neighbor had, he said I could have. So I cut it, and the plan is to pretty much make it so it sits at a 90-degree up against both shock towers here and sit flush along the edge of the frame. And from there, I'm just going to weld it solid on both shock mount and the frame when it's at a 90, and pretty much that'll help support the back section here to where I can remove the spare tire mount. And all you gotta do there is just kind of grind off or drill out the pop rivets, and that should be that. I do have another piece of the same steel be mounting on the back side. I'm using it because it's already got all the holes in it. It's kind of nice, convenient for just you know, later on I don't have to try drilling holes in something that's already, you know, fixed up, and then if I, you know, miscalculate something, I have to re-drill or re-weld up, grind, redo this, that. It's just, it's not really going to be seen unless you're underneath it, and if you see it, it's not going to be bad. Pretty much, I did go out and buy myself a nice DeWalt grinder. I got a 40 grit flap wheel along with wire wheel and your standard grinding disc. That's, I was dicking around with kind of the cheap Harbor Freight special stuff, and it just wasn't working out. So this way, you know, it's, I pretty much got everything I need. Pretty much grind down the edges, that way I can bring this pretty much straight up. I think, and this kind of helps with making measurements too. I can go about to the third hole on the passenger side and to the edge of the second hole on the driver's side. Just kind of keep grinding away at them, and then yeah, eventually it'll come to where it meets these 2 points, and then I'll break out the welder and arc weld it up. All right, I'm gonna grind her down and you'll see it, and we'll do some movie magic here and be no time at all. All right, here we go. And we're looking good to move it back into the garage so I can keep working at it. Yeah, next, get rid of this guy, cut another bar to bolt in back here and start mounting the tank up. So, all right, well now I'm officially calling it a night. I got that spare tire mount completely out. Looking at how everything's lining up here, it looks like it'll work together pretty good. Still waiting on my sending unit, but that's about where everything's going to sit. It's pretty dang level. So we'll see what happens. I might end up mounting the bracing on the bottom side of this, kind of give it just a little bit more room for the sending unit whenever that comes in. Otherwise, now I can start making the back section and start going from there. I do plan on having just straight up pretty much, then be flush with the bed. I don't know exactly how well. Okay, new battery. Hopefully this one lasts a little bit longer somehow. But yeah, straps got painted last night, kind of let everything sit up overnight. Now we're just gonna start doing final assembly on everything. We're gonna get the fronts bolted down here. Got, you know, just standard bolt for the top. So we'll do that, and then you know, zip everything up with the impact, and then we'll mount up start mounting everything up. At the back is going to be that 3/8 threaded rod, so that way we kind of get a measurement about how much we're going to need for sucking up the back of the straps, because I did make these a little bit short. Was not planning on it to be this short, but hey, things happen. It's going to stretch. It's spring banding, so either way it's going to work.